Welcome back to the Coin Quest. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting and taking a closer look at one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1941 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. It might look like just an old copper coin, but depending on a few key factors, it could actually be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. So, if you come across a 1941 penny in your pocket change or inherited a collection from a grandparent, you might want to stick around to find out just how valuable it could be in today's market. Let's start with the basics. The 1941 penny features the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, or what collectors call the obverse side. This portrait was originally designed by Victor David Brenner and first appeared on the Lincoln Cent in 1909. The 1941 version still carries his initials VDB on the reverse side, right at the bottom near the wheat stalks. And yes, we're talking about the classic wheat penny here, with those two stalks of wheat arching on the back, which is why some collectors call these wheat pennies. In 1941, the United States Mint produced pennies at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark under the date, while the Denver coins show a small D, and the San Francisco coins have an S. That tiny letter can actually make a big difference when it comes to how much your penny is worth. Let's talk mintage numbers for a second. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 887 million pennies in 1941. That makes it the most common of the 3. Denver produced over 128 million, and San Francisco made about 92 million. While all 3 were minted in high numbers, the condition and rarity of certain variations is where things start to get interesting. Now you're probably wondering, how much can a 1941 penny actually sell for if you have a regular 1941 penny that's been circulating, meaning it has wear and tear and has passed through many hands? Its value is usually around 2 to 5 cents. Not exactly life-changing money, but it's still more than face value. However, if your 1941 penny is in uncirculated or mint condition, that is, it hasn't been used and still looks almost brand new, the value can jump dramatically. A red-colored 1941 penny, meaning it still has its original luster and shine, can be worth between $15 and $40, and in some cases even more. Especially if it has been graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, and received a high mid-state rating like MS65 or above. Now here's where things get even more exciting. Some 1941 pennies are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars because of errors. That's right. Minting mistakes are a huge part of what makes a coin valuable in the collector world. For example, a 1941 penny with a double die error, where parts of the design are stamped twice and appear blurry or duplicated, can sell for hundreds. Another rare error is the off-center strike, where the design is shifted noticeably off from the center of the coin. These kinds of coins can bring in big money at auction, especially if they're well preserved. So, if you have a 1941 Lincoln wheat penny, here's what you need to look for to see if it's worth anything. 1. Check the mint mark. Coins from San Francisco or Denver in good condition may be slightly more valuable than those from Philadelphia. 2. Examine the condition. If it still has a reddish color and sharp details, it may be uncirculated and could be worth more. 3. Look for errors. Get a magnifying glass and check for doubling, misalignments, or other strange markings that look like something went wrong during minting. 4. Consider getting your coin graded by a professional if you think it might be valuable. This adds trust and transparency to its value if you ever plan to sell it. Now let's talk about the current market value in 2025. Right now, in the current coin collecting market, circulated 1941 pennies are selling for a few cents each, but high-quality uncirculated examples can easily go for $20 to $50. Rare errors have sold on eBay and coin auctions for between $100 and several $1,000 depending on rarity and condition. In one recent auction, A pristine 1941 Lincoln Cent graded MS-67 red by PCGS sold for over $2,000. That's right, a single penny, worth over $2,000 just because of its grade and condition. And some error coins have even surpassed that, especially the double die errors and high-grade San Francisco mints. So, if you come across one of these old wheat pennies, don't just toss it aside. Take a good look at the date, check for a mint mark, and examine the condition carefully. Even if it's not a rare variety, it could still be a great piece of American history. And if you're lucky enough to have a rare error or a high-grade coin, you might just be holding a small treasure. Before we wrap up, here's a quick tip. Store any potentially valuable coins in a proper holder or coin flip to keep them protected from damage. Fingerprints, dirt, and moisture can all reduce a coin's value over time. And always do your research or talk to a coin dealer before selling. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, hit that like button and subscribe for more coin collecting tips, historical facts, and updates on what your old money might be worth. And don't forget to comment below if you have a 1941 penny. Let us know what mint mark you have and what condition it's in. We'd love to hear about your finds. Until next time, keep searching your change and happy collecting. Have you ever held a penny and wondered if it might be worth more than just 1 cent? What if I told you that one of the most ordinary-looking coins in your pocket could actually be worth thousands of dollars today? Let's take a journey into history and uncover the incredible story of the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that's turning heads in the collector's world for all the right reasons. In the midst of World War II, the United States was facing more than just battles overseas. Back home, there were resource shortages, rationing, and a massive push to support the war effort. One way the U.S. Mint helped was by adjusting the materials used to produce coins. And that's where our story begins. The 1945 1-cent coin features the familiar face of President Abraham Lincoln, a design that had already been in use since 1909. On the front of the coin, or the obverse, we see a side profile of Lincoln with the words "In God We Trust" arching over his head, liberty to the left, and the year 1945 stamped to the right. Flip it over and you'll see the famous wheat ears on each side, with the bold lettering of 1 cent and United States of America in the center, topped with the Latin phrase "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many, one. This design is commonly known as the Lincoln wheat penny, or simply the wheat cent, but not all 1945 Lincoln pennies are created equal. The most common 1945 pennies were struck in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. You can tell where yours was minted by checking for a small letter just below the date. AD means it was struck in Denver, S for San Francisco, and no letter at all means it came from Philadelphia. Now here's the exciting part. Even though over 1 billion Lincoln pennies were minted in 1945, some of them are rare, and a few are worth a lot more than 1 cent. In fact, some are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today. It all comes down to condition, rarity, and sometimes even errors. First, let's talk about condition. Collectors are always looking for coins in top-notch shape. A coin in average circulated condition, the kind you might find in your change, is usually worth between 3 and 10 cents. That's not much, but if your 1945 penny is in uncirculated condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear and still has its original shine, it can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to well over $50. And that's just the beginning. Coins that have been professionally graded and given a mint state grade of 65 or higher by companies like PCGS or NGC can fetch much more. For example, a 1945 Philadelphia penny graded MS-67 red, meaning it has a near-perfect strike with full original red luster, can sell for upwards of $1,000 at auction. But it doesn't stop there. The real treasures are in the errors, the rare mint mistakes that can make an ordinary coin extremely valuable. Some of the most sought-after 1945 Lincoln pennies include off-center strikes, double die errors, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. A double die penny, where parts of the image or lettering appear double due to a misalignment during the minting process, can easily be worth several $100s depending on the clarity and condition. Even more valuable are the so-called wrong metal errors. For example, if a 1945 penny was accidentally struck on a silver dime planchet instead of the standard bronze planchet, it would be lighter in weight and have a shiny silver appearance. These types of error coins are extremely rare and can be worth thousands of dollars. So, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1945 penny? First, check the condition. Look for any unusual characteristics like doubling, misalignment, or a strange color. Then, compare it to online images of known errors or send it to a professional grading service for authentication. It could be the difference between having a 1-cent coin and a small fortune. Collectors also pay attention to the color of the coin. Lincoln cents are typically categorized as red, red-brown, or brown depending on how much original mint color they've retained. The redder the coin, the more valuable it tends to be, especially in higher mint state grades. Let's take a look at some real examples from recent auctions. A 1945 penny graded MS67 red sold for around $1,900. A 1945D in the same grade sold for over $1,500. And while these coins are rare, they are still out there, sitting in old coin jars, tucked away in drawers, or hiding in plain sight in a forgotten collection. So next time you come across a Lincoln penny with the date 1945, don't be so quick to spend it. Take a closer look. You might just be holding a hidden gem, a tiny piece of American history that could be worth a lot more than its face value. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'll be covering more hidden treasures in your pocket change and stories behind the most valuable coins in U.S. history. Who knows, your next lucky penny might just be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes open and your pennies safe. Today, we're diving deep into a small copper coin that may be sitting in your pocket, in your coin jar, or even hidden in an old drawer at home. We're talking about the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that's nearly 80 years old, but still turning heads in the numismatic world. Could this humble 1-cent coin be worth a small fortune today? Let's find out. First, a bit of history. The 1946 Lincoln penny is part of the iconic wheat penny series, also known as Lincoln wheat cents, which were minted from 1909 to 1958. These coins feature President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and agricultural strength. The Lincoln wheat penny was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, and who better than the 16th President of the United States? Now let's zoom in on the year 1946. This was just after World War II, a time of economic transition and national recovery. In 1946, the United States Mint produced over 1 billion Lincoln cents. They were struck in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint coins have no mint mark. The Denver coins are marked with a small d, and the San Francisco coins have an S. So what makes a 1946 penny special if there were over 1 billion made? That's a fair question. After all, most 1946 pennies are still only worth 1 cent, or maybe a few cents if they're in circulated condition. But certain coins from that year can be worth far more, sometimes even hundreds or thousands of dollars. Let's break it down. The majority of 1946 Lincoln pennies were struck in Philadelphia, over 991 million of them. These have no mint mark. In average circulated condition, they're worth about 2 to 5 cents. But in uncirculated condition, with original luster and no signs of wear, These coins can sell for $1 to $5. And if the coin is graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC and gets a high mint-state grade, say MS65 or higher, its value can increase dramatically. One example is a 1946 Philadelphia penny graded MS67 red that sold at auction for over $800. Now let's move on to the 1946 D penny from the Denver Mint. These were produced in large numbers as well, over 315 million of them. Like the Philadelphia issue, circulated examples are not especially valuable, but uncirculated examples with bright red color and a high mint state grade can be worth between $10 and $50. In very high grades, MS66 or MS67, the value can jump to over $200 or more. In fact, a top-rated 1946 D Lincoln penny once sold for over $1,500. Then we have the 1946 S penny, minted in San Francisco. This one is slightly more scarce, with a mintage of around 198 million. In circulated condition, it's worth just a few cents more than face value. But again, condition is everything. Uncirculated examples, especially those with a bright red finish, can bring in between $15 to $70. Some Ultra Gem examples graded MS67 red have sold for over $1,000 at major coin auctions. But here's where it gets even more interesting. There are a few error coins and varieties from 1946 that collectors go crazy for. One of the most well-known errors is the 1946 double die obverse penny. This means the coin was struck with a die that had a slight doubling of the design, making Lincoln's profile, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust" appear slightly doubled. These errors are very rare, but if you happen to find one, it could be worth several $100s or more depending on the grade and visibility of the doubling. Another sought-after type is the off-center strike, where the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting. These types of mint errors can bring in values ranging from $20 to over $100, depending on how off-center the coin is. The more dramatic the error, the more desirable it becomes. Also keep an eye out for repunched mint marks, especially on the Denver and San Francisco issues. These small anomalies occur when the mint mark was punched into the die more than once in a slightly different location. These coins can also sell for a premium among error coin collectors. So, what should you look for if you think you have a valuable 1946 penny? First, check the mint mark. Is it from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco? Next, examine the coin's color. Red coins, meaning those that still have their original copper luster, are the most valuable. Coins with a brown or reddish-brown color are less desirable, though still collectible. Then, inspect the coin for any errors or unusual features. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks. Finally, consider getting the coin professionally graded if it appears to be in very high quality. Grading can cost money, but it also provides a certificate of authenticity and can boost the coin's value on the open market. To wrap it all up, the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny is not rare in general, but individual coins in top condition or with rare errors can be worth a surprising amount of money. In today's market, especially in 2025, collectors are willing to pay strong premiums for high-quality, certified coins. So if you have a jar of old pennies, now might be the perfect time to dig through them. Who knows, that old copper coin could be a hidden treasure. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the amazing stories behind everyday objects. Leave a comment below and tell us if you've ever found a rare penny in your change. We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, happy collecting.